Welcome to the True Crime Family Channel. Today we'll be delving into a chilling case set in the quiet suburb of Fairview, Oregon, in early 2022. Our story involves a seemingly perfect family, sinister secrets, and a twisted plot for murder. Mia Thompson was a loving wife and mother who never thought her happy life would turn into a nightmare. Living in the quiet town of Fairview, Oregon, Mia was 37 years old and worked from home as a web developer. Her husband, Jack, who was 41, owned a construction company. They had two children, Ava, who was 11, and Ethan, who was 9. Mia was loved in her community for her kind heart and dedication to her family. She balanced her job, designing websites for small businesses, with her involvement in community events. Her work was often praised and featured in local newspapers. Mia's artistic skills helped local businesses create beautiful online presences. Her clients adored her not only for her skills, but also for her warm personality and genuine wish to help others succeed. Jack seemed like the perfect husband. His construction business appeared successful, and he was seen as a caring father and partner. His company had built many homes and businesses in Fairview, earning him respect from the community. Jack was always ready to help, whether it was sponsoring the local Little League team or fixing a neighbor's house. To everyone else, the Thompsons seemed to have it all: a lovely home, successful careers, and two great kids. But Jack had secrets that would soon destroy this image. In recent months, Mia began to notice strange behavior from Jack. He started coming home late, making secretive phone calls, and seemed increasingly agitated. Mia's intuition told her something was terribly wrong. One night, she overheard Jack on a heated phone call. The fragments of conversation she caught were enough to stir suspicion. He mentioned debts, threats, and Rachel, Mia's best friend. Mia was very involved in her children's school, Westfield Elementary. She volunteered and participated in the PTA, organized events, and baked treats for school functions. Her cookies and cakes were a hit. She also started an after-school coding club to teach kids programming and web design. Mia was busy planning a family trip to Yellowstone National Park. It was meant to be a break from their busy lives, a chance to reconnect and enjoy nature. Mia spent hours finding the best trails, lodges, and activities for the family. She was especially excited to take photos of the park's stunning landscapes with her new camera. Mia was also working on a big project for a startup company, hoping to grow her web development business. The startup, an organic skincare company, hired Mia to revamp their online store and create a marketing campaign. She saw this as a chance to take her business to the next level. She spent countless hours designing prototypes, researching market trends, and brainstorming new ideas. Life seemed full of promise until everything changed. On the morning of April 10, 2022, Mia's neighbor, Samuel Lewis, made a shocking discovery. Samuel, a retired firefighter, noticed something unusual during his morning jog. The usually closed garage door at the Thompson residence was slightly open. Samuel had lived next door for nearly 10 years and knew their habits well. It was strange for Mia to leave the garage door open, as she was very careful about home security. Curious, Samuel approached the garage. He saw a small pool of blood seeping from under the door. His heart raced with panic. Samuel pushed the door open and found Mia lying in a pool of blood, her body lifeless and brutally beaten. A heavy wrench, covered in blood, lay nearby. likely the murder weapon. Samuel's firefighter instincts kicked in. He quickly assessed the situation and called 911. He stayed calm but urgent. As he waited for the authorities, he stood guard, making sure no one disturbed the scene. His hands shook as he replayed the horrible image in his mind. The Fairview Police Department arrived quickly, with detectives Jane Foster and Michael Blake leading the investigation. The garage was a gruesome sight, with bloodstains showing a violent struggle. Mia's body showed signs of a brutal attack. The detectives carefully documented the scene, collecting evidence and taking photographs. The garage walls, once clean, were now splattered with blood, a stark contrast to Mia's tidy life. Detective Foster, an experienced investigator, examined the wrench closely. She noticed the blood and hair on it, marking it as important evidence. Detective Blake, her partner, interviewed Samuel, gathering information about his discovery and any unusual activity he had noticed recently. The community was shocked as news of Mia's death spread. Samuel provided a detailed account of his discovery to the detectives, helping to establish a timeline. Inside the house, Ava and Ethan were still asleep, unaware of the tragedy. The detectives made sure the children were safely taken to their grandparents' home. The peaceful scene inside the house contrasted sharply with the horror in the garage. Detectives Foster and Blake, known for their thorough work, were determined to solve the case quickly. The garage, filled with overturned boxes and broken items, showed signs of a fierce struggle. The wrench, covered in blood, was collected as key evidence. Fingerprints and DNA samples were taken from the scene. The detectives also found Mia's cell phone, which they hoped would provide more clues about her last moments. Inside the house, there were no signs of forced entry, suggesting Mia knew her attacker. This narrowed the list of suspects to people close to her. They interviewed neighbors and friends, piecing together Mia's last days. Many described her as cheerful and busy with her projects and family plans. No one suspected the darkness lurking beneath. Jack Thompson became the main suspect in his wife's murder. At 41, he owned a construction company that seemed successful. However, the investigation revealed Jack had been hiding big secrets. Jack was involved in illegal activities, including money laundering and gambling. His construction business, which seemed prosperous, was actually a cover for these illegal operations. Jack had huge debts and was under pressure from his criminal partners. Jack's business was close to bankruptcy. He had taken out many loans and was under great financial pressure. Additionally, Jack was having an affair with Mia's best friend, Rachel, which added another layer to the case. Detectives Foster and Blake brought Jack in for questioning on the afternoon of April 10, 2022. Jack claimed he was innocent, saying he was at his office during the time of the murder. However, his demeanor was distant, and his alibi was weak. Jack admitted to the affair, but denied any role in Mia's death. He seemed more worried about his business than his wife's death. Jack's phone records and financial transactions were examined, revealing frequent communications with Rachel and numerous suspicious transactions. The detectives also interviewed neighbors and friends, many of whom were shocked by Jack's double life. Some neighbors recalled seeing Jack acting nervously in the weeks before Mia's death. They described him as increasingly agitated and secretive, often leaving the house late at night and returning in the early hours. As the investigation deepened, Jack remained a primary suspect. The detectives continued to scrutinize his financial records and planned to question Rachel to uncover more about Jack's potential motives and involvement in Mia's murder. Jack's arrest sent shockwaves through the Fairview community. The once respected businessman was now a prime suspect in a gruesome murder. Jack's business dealings were exposed, revealing a web of deceit and criminal activity. His construction company, which had built many of the town's homes and businesses, was a facade for his illegal operations. Jack had been laundering money for a local crime syndicate, using his business to hide the illicit funds. Detectives Foster and Blake discovered that Jack had been embezzling money from his own company to pay off his gambling debts. He had taken out numerous loans, mortgaging the family home and other assets to cover his losses. The financial strain had become unbearable, leading Jack to take desperate measures to keep his secrets hidden. Jack's affair with Rachel, Mia's best friend, added another layer of betrayal. Rachel was a successful real estate agent and had known Mia for years. Their friendship seemed genuine, but the affair revealed a darker side. Rachel and Jack had been seeing each other for over a year, meeting secretly in hotels and at Rachel's apartment. Their relationship was intense and passionate, fueled by the thrill of secrecy and the danger of discovery. Detective Foster and Blake brought Rachel in for questioning on April 11, 2022. She appeared nervous but cooperative, admitting to the affair but denying any involvement in Mia's murder. Rachel described her relationship with Jack as purely emotional, claiming she had no knowledge of his illegal activities. Yet, her phone records painted a stark contrast, revealing numerous conversations about Jack's financial troubles and their plans for the future. Rachel, Mia's best friend and colleague, was described by her colleagues and friends as ambitious and driven, often putting her career above her personal life. Their friendship had seemed genuine, with Rachel and Mia sharing both personal and professional aspects of their lives. However, some noted that Rachel had become more secretive and stressed in recent months, possibly due to her involvement with Jack. During the second round of questioning, Rachel was visibly shaken, but continued to cooperate. She reiterated that the affair with Jack was purely emotional and unrelated to Mia's death. Despite their seemingly unbreakable bond, she admitted to moments of jealousy over their careers, hinting at underlying tensions that could have motivated the crime. The detectives continued to gather evidence, hoping to uncover more about Rachel's role in the events leading up to Mia's death. Rachel's phone records showed many messages between her and Jack. They discussed both personal and professional matters. These messages hinted at future plans, suggesting Rachel felt threatened by Mia's presence in Jack's life. Friends and colleagues described Rachel as driven and competitive, often pushing boundaries to achieve her goals. Rachel's motive could come from several factors. Her affair with Jack was a huge betrayal of Mia's trust, and if Mia had found out, it could have led to intense conflict. Rachel's ambition and desire for success could have also led to envy and resentment. During the interrogation, Rachel was defensive, but not overly aggressive. She answered the detective's questions, but was careful with her words. Rachel mentioned that Jack had told her he was planning to leave Mia and that their relationship would soon become official. This added another layer to the investigation, as it suggested Rachel might have felt threatened by Mia's presence in Jack's life. Detectives Foster and Blake also examined Rachel's financial records and found several large deposits that couldn't be explained by her real estate earnings. This raised suspicions that Rachel might have been involved in Jack's illegal activities, either knowingly or unknowingly. Friends and colleagues of Rachel were interviewed, and many expressed shock at her involvement with Jack. They described Rachel as driven and focused on her career, but were surprised to learn about the affair. Some mentioned that Rachel had seemed more stressed and secretive in recent months. While Rachel's affair with Jack was significant, there was no direct evidence linking her to Mia's murder. The detectives continued gathering evidence, hoping to uncover more about her role in the events leading up to Mia's death. Rachel's actions and motives remained a crucial part of the investigation. The third person of interest in the case was Logan Wright, a private investigator hired by Mia just weeks before her death. Logan was 45, experienced, and known for his tenacity in uncovering the truth. Mia had suspected Jack of infidelity and financial misdeeds, prompting her to hire Logan. Logan had been gathering evidence against Jack, including his involvement in illegal activities. Mia had planned to confront Jack with the evidence and seek a divorce. This confrontation was likely the catalyst for her murder. On April 12, 2022, Logan was brought in for questioning. Logan recounted his findings, providing the detectives with detailed reports and evidence against Jack. He described Mia as determined to protect her children and start a new life without Jack. Logan's investigation had uncovered Jack's affair with Rachel and his financial troubles. Logan's motive was clear. He wanted to bring justice to Mia. He had been working closely with her and had grown to respect her resilience. His testimony and the evidence he provided were crucial in building a case against Jack. Friends and associates of Logan described him as dedicated and thorough. They praised his commitment to uncovering the truth and helping his clients. Logan's involvement in the case brought new insights and evidence, strengthening the detective's case against Jack. Logan's investigation had revealed that Jack was not only embezzling money, but also involved in a local crime syndicate. This connection explained the large sums of money moving through Jack's accounts and the threats he had received from his criminal associates. Logan had documented these findings meticulously, providing the detectives with a clear picture of Jack's criminal activities. Logan's reports also included interviews with several individuals who had been victims of Jack's schemes. These testimonies painted a picture of a man who was willing to do anything to protect his empire, including committing murder. The detectives knew that this information was crucial in building a solid case against Jack. On April 14, 2022, the Fairview Police Department, armed with overwhelming evidence, arrested Jack Thompson for Mia's murder. The investigation revealed that Jack had killed Mia to prevent her from exposing his illegal activities and affair. The detectives had gathered crucial evidence, including phone records, financial documents, and witness testimonies. Detectives Foster and Blake arrived at Jack's office to make the arrest. Jack, in the middle of a meeting, was stunned as the detectives informed him of his charges. He attempted to maintain his composure, but the fear and guilt were evident in his eyes. Jack was taken into custody, leaving his colleagues in shock. Jack's trial was a lengthy and complex process. The prosecution presented a mountain of evidence, including the financial records, phone messages, and testimonies from key witnesses, like Rachel Evans and Logan Wright. The details of Jack's illegal activities, and the brutal murder of his wife were laid bare in court. Rachel, facing charges for her involvement in the illegal operations, eventually agreed to testify against Jack in exchange for a reduced sentence. Her testimony was a crucial part of the prosecution's case, providing insight into Jack's motives and actions leading up to Mia's murder. Logan's detailed reports and evidence further solidified the case against Jack. His investigation had uncovered not only Jack's financial misdeeds, but also his connections to the crime syndicate. Logan's testimony provided a clear timeline of Jack's activities and his increasing desperation to keep his secrets hidden. Jack was found guilty on multiple charges, including first-degree murder, and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Justice was served, but the scars left by Jack's actions would take time to heal. Jack Thompson's arrest and subsequent trial captured the attention of Fairview. The trial revealed the extent of Jack's crimes, including money laundering, illegal gambling, and the brutal murder of his wife. The prosecution presented a compelling case, with testimonies from Rachel, Logan, and other key witnesses. Rachel, facing charges for her involvement in the illegal activities, testified against Jack in exchange for a reduced sentence. Her testimony provided insight into Jack's motives and actions leading to Mia's murder. Logan's detailed reports and evidence further solidified the case against Jack. In the end, Jack was found guilty on multiple charges, including first-degree murder, and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Justice was served, but the scars left by Jack's actions would take time to heal. Mia's children, Ava and Ethan, were taken in by their grandparents, who provided them with a loving home. The community rallied around the family, offering support and assistance during their time of grief. Mia's legacy lived on through her work and the memories she left behind. Friends and family remembered her as a loving mother, dedicated wife, and a beacon of positivity. The story of Mia Thompson is a chilling reminder of how secrets and lies can unravel even the most idyllic lives. It is a tale of betrayal, murder, and the relentless pursuit of justice. While Mia's life was tragically cut short, the truth ultimately prevailed, bringing her killer to justice and exposing the darkness that had been hidden for so long. Mia's story poignantly reminds us of the importance of integrity and the devastating consequences of deceit. It is a story that will not be forgotten, a cautionary tale for all who hear it. Could Mia have taken more drastic steps to protect herself and her children once she suspected Jack's deceit? What responsibility do friends and neighbors have when they notice signs of trouble in someone's marriage? Let us know. Make sure to stay with us as we explore more of these gripping true crime stories, each more shocking than the last. Subscribe now so you never miss a moment of the drama, the